stand by.
The vacuum tubes are warming up.
This is a special live broadcast right here on Georgia Radio.
All the best country.
Georgia Radio. Everywhere you go.
All right, this is Wade with Georgia Folk and Farm Life, and welcoming you all and thanking you for joining us here on Georgia Radio, on Georgia Folk and Farm Life radio show. I want to welcome all our listeners that if you listen to Georgia Radio and enjoy the great country music, the classic music, the other programming, news, and things that Matt's offering, we appreciate it, and we do appreciate so much you joining us here. And tell your friends, we want to get our listenership up and grow this like we've grown Georgia Folk and Farm Life on Facebook. We've got over 80,000 members there, and we've been at it for about 5.5 years. And so we tried to have some guests on here that have played an important role in making Georgia Folk and Farm Life what it is. And tonight, I tell you what, I'm so pleased to have my friend and Matt's friend, Harvey Williams. Hello, Harvey.
Hey, how you doing, Wade?
I'm well. Harvey, for those that don't know, if you're a member of Georgia Folk and Farm Life, and I'm sure most of our listeners are, and we need to start including those that aren't familiar, making them familiar. Harvey is an administrator on our group, and we've been friends for a few years now. And Harvey, do you mind if I kind of tell how we got to know each other and got to be friends, and then let you finish filling that out? You mind if I tell that?
Help yourself, man.
Well, Harvey is he's a Renaissance man, because you got so many things. I won't use the term irons in the fire. Harvey's, you can't have irons in the fire aren't heartfelt, and Harvey's mission and the things that he does in life are heartfelt and come from within him and God. And God gave Harvey to me as a friend. And Harvey's he's a recovering addict, and he's written books about his experience. Pusher to Preacher is one of the books, and it's an amazing story how Harvey's life got detoured into drugs years ago, and then how God helped him pull out of that and lead a fulfilling life today. And it's an inspiration. Like myself, I'm a recovering addict, and I'm always inspired when I see someone like that that's been through into the depths of despair and self-destruction, come out of it, and then bring others up with them. That's what Harvey has done. But how I got to know Harvey a couple of years ago, whatever, he started posting his photographs on Georgia Folk and Farm Life, and I was so impressed with his photography. He's an incredible photographer. At that time, I said he was an incredible nature photographer, or wildlife photographer. But Harvey's grown as a photographer, and he is a photographer in his genre. I feel if if it was a wedding, or if you had any kind of photo shoot, he's got the skill to handle it and bring an art to it. But out in nature, Harvey is blessed. God blesses him with gifts of animals and scenes and things that the average person will never see. You can see that in his photographs. Now, there is proof that is a fact. Would you agree with that, Harvey, that God gives you opportunities to take photographs that aren't there for everyone?
Yeah, one thing I really love about it, Wade, you giving God the credit, as I always do. I don't think a man can do what I do on his own.
No.
It has to be God.
That's right. I used to do the cover photos every day. I change them every day for Georgia Folk and Farm Life, and I would go out and take photographs. And I was fair to middling, as we say, the old cotton term, fair to middling photographer with my limited means and limited equipment. And I did a fair job, but when I got to be friends with Harvey, that's one of the things I asked him to do. Will you take that over? And that's the photographs you see on the cover of Georgia Folk and Farm Life each day are Harvey's. But getting back to how he had started contributing photographs to Georgia Folk and Farm Life and other groups, and I didn't know him. But I saw that the only interaction he had with Georgia Folk and Farm Life was posting his photographs. I didn't see him comment on other people's things. I didn't see him write anything, do anything. He really wasn't taking part in the group. And I kind of got aggravated. I said, I don't know this man. I wanted to know him. I saw his work, but he was standoffish, and it aggravated me. And I'm prone to be a little bit of you can't use the words on here that I but describe myself. Sometimes I'm not the kind of fella I wish I was. And I kind of got mad with Harvey, and I sent him a message, and I basically told him, I don't remember the exact word, but what it boiled down to was I said, Mr. Williams, either get off the porch and come on in the house or go home. Mm-hmm. Is that basically what it kind of boiled down to, Harvey?
Absolutely.
But thank God, literally, that God was in that entire interchange there. And so I'll let you take it. Harvey is, like I say, he's a pastor. He lives in Willacoochee. He's a pastor. He's an author. He writes for his local newspaper. He serves on his library board. And he does take the most fabulous photographs. And all that pales when you know Harvey and you seek his counsel and you talk to Harvey. Matt, you can verify this. Am I right? When you talk to Harvey, you know you're talking to somebody special, and it's a gift.
Absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, now, Harvey, after I bragged on you and embarrassed you, I'm going to turn it over to you. Talk to us a little bit. Talk about whatever you want to talk about now. You know I'll interrupt on a regular basis. That's what I do.
No problem, man. But my initial thought was when you mentioned about get off the porch, come inside, and go home. Of course, my initial thought was to go. I just go home. I don't have to put up with this.
That's right.
I was offended. Don't know why. I mean, because I was just posting, I don't post for praise. I really post to bless people. But then I thought about it. I said, well, something clicked inside. It had to be God. This man really is trying to help you. I mean, he has said nothing wrong or nothing out of the way. And so, because I thought about it. I said, well, what I'm going to do is, he aggravated me, so I'm just going to go down and just click everything. I'm just going to like everything I see, with attitude. You know what I mean? So, but God intervened, and a light came on and said, this man is really trying to help you. And from there, we start conversing, exchanging messages and everything. And I got a feel for who Wade is, and he got a feel for who I am, and we became friends. And from there, I think he made me a moderator soon after, and not long after, an administrator. And I thought that was something special. Here's a man that has a group, I think about like 70,000 at the time, something that he's created, but yet and still he's going to make me a part of it, virtual stranger. But I knew God was in the plan because I learned Wade, and I knew Wade was not going to just accept anybody. I mean, he's pretty much like me. We stand off, as you might want to say, and be cautious. We don't have a large circle of friends, and I don't know. Maybe that's because we are thinkers. I don't really know. We call ourselves philosophers, I guess you could say, but we kind of in a league of our own. You know what I mean? And I make no apologies for that. I am who I am. But that being said, and I share this with the congregation all the time, and I don't mean to boast, but if I am, it's in God. I feel like I'm one of the most blessed men on the face of the earth because God has really blessed me to do some remarkable things. I mean, things that people tend to struggle with, they come with ease with me, and it has to be God. But at the same time, I don't want to profit from that. My profit is bringing joy to someone. That old person, that old lady, old man, maybe even young, that can't get out into the wild. I'm out there. I'm braving the snakes and all that stuff, the heat, the sun, the gnats, and all that, to capture that one image that I can post that night that's going to bring joy to somebody's heart. And from the feedback I receive, he does just that. So that's pretty much my reward. And I hear from time to time, well, you can make money, but there are some things that's, money's not everything. There's some things that's much more valuable than money. And for me, that's peace of mind. And what I do, it brings peace of mind.
Well, Harvey, it's obvious. You talk about the feedback you get. I kid with you sometimes about, I wish I was as popular. I wish I was as popular on the Georgia Folk and Farm Life as you are. People think, when they think of Georgia Folk and Farm Life, I started it, and I'm the founder, and I run it with the help of some good people like you. But I'm never in the top 10. I can look on the group insights there that's available to the moderators, administrators, and Facebook gives me all the facts and figures and stats. And I'm never, the other day I was in the top 10 the other day, and I was like, ooh, wow, I've been the big time on Georgia Folk and Farm. But you do that all the time, and you're way ahead of me on points with the people on the group. And we have a great group and a great group of members. And a scripture I put out the other day was, that God's word doesn't return void. And if you do things, your efforts don't return void. And this is, I see that reflected and from the people of Georgia Folk and Farm Life. Your efforts, is not wasted, and your work doesn't return void.
Hey, Wade, it's your producer here.
Yes, sir, Mr. Matt.
I thought it sounded like you were done, and I've pulled the worst producer mistake possible, and I jumped in on you. I just wanted to run this down. Harvey Williams.
You're a part of this as much as anybody. Go ahead, Matt.
Harvey Williams by the numbers. Are you ready for this? He posted a picture of himself and his brother. 601 people liked the picture. Now, that's just a picture of he and his brother. He put a picture of a bunch of old men up there. 898 people liked it. Now, that's he and his brother in a group of old men. If you don't think this guy's liked, 2,000 people liked his story about he and the police officer, or I guess the state trooper. I mean, Harvey, your work, it not only resonates with people in a way that I think is really unique. It is truly from God what you're able to find with these images, especially in nature. And one of my favorites is from Lakeland, Georgia, and it's entitled "When the Evening Comes." And Wade,
oh, man.
What an image! And I know Wade knows this one. I'm trying to show it if I can find it. There it is, Wade. You see it there in your monitor?
That one, yes, that's beautiful.
I mean, how can you not see the hand of God when you see that?
Matt, Harvey we're going to talk about him when he's sitting here listening. All artists, I'm no art historian, and Lord have mercy, I'm just a backwoods redneck log truck driver, but I'm a pseudo-intellectual in a redneck suit. But so I'm not an art historian, but I do know enough about artists that most go through phases. And when you look back over their body of work and their careers, whether they're sculptors, painters, photographers, illustrators, whatever, they go through phases, and they get excited about a certain genre, and then they work with that, and they move on. But they don't leave these behind. They just become part of their catalog. They're part and parcel of their being as an artist, right? So it's not like they do this thing and they leave it alone and go on to the next thing. They add to it. And so I see, we're going to give the number here in just a second for you. Anybody wants to call in. This is a call-in show. But I want to say, Harvey, I watch him, and I'm a watcher of people, especially my friend. And I see Harvey expanding, not leaving behind and going on to the next thing, but expanding and growing as a photographer and artist. And we're going to give the number here. I can't find, my number, Matt. You remember?
I'm just
it's
having
written on
fun.
the back of my phone bill, and I cannot find my phone bill right now. So how about you give the number?
Harvey, I wish you could see him. He's sitting here with his. It looks like he's got on Mickey Mouse ears. These big, there's no pro audio store down there in Garfield. So Wade ran down to the Dollar General there and got himself some bright red headphones. But anyhow, here's the number: 678-390-8633. So 678-390-8633. You can call in and join the show tonight. And Wade, that number is posted on the website.
Yeah.
If you're on Georgia.
Give me the number again, and I'm going to write it down on another bill here.
678-390-8633. And you can call in. Yeah, 8633. Yeah, but it's on the website. It's on georgiaradio.com. Right there up front. So just if you're trying to find a pen and a phone bill like Wade to write it on, you don't have to. It's right there on the page.
You're not capturing a screenshot of me with my orange Dollar General headset. And
no, but I should.
I should.
Please do.
I'm telling you.
But
next time I'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Harvey, it was animals and birds, mostly birds, and then other animals, and then landscapes and seascapes. And you're going through the growing as a photographer. You talk about that a little bit about how you embrace. You find new fields next to the fields you're in. The swamp next door to the woods or the pasture. So how do you explore new areas in photography? So talk about that.
Okay. Well, that's easy. That or do is never acceptable for me as long as better is available.
That's right.
That or do is never acceptable to me as long as better is available.
And that's says a lot. That's your personality to the core right there.
Yeah. And I'm just never satisfied. I'm always thinking I can do better. Now, for example, the ego I posted a couple of weeks ago. I mean, I was so proud, man. It was the closest I've come to getting the shot I really wanted. I mean, I was really, really thrilled. And one man telling me, well, that's the closest you're going to be able to get unless you get more equipment. Well, I can get more equipment, but then it limits me. You know what I mean? I can't be as flexible with a larger lens and all that. Okay, but on yesterday, I was able to get a shot of an eagle that I think comes second to none. And I wasn't able to. I didn't have to purchase an expensive zoom lens, but what the Lord was my zoom lens. The Lord allowed me to get close enough to be able to take pictures of this eagle. I don't know. I see things, and I don't know. It's like things that people tend to overlook. Well, I can look up in the sky, and I don't see clouds, man. I see art. I can look over on the water and see a feather floating, and I don't see just a lost feather, a bird lost a feather. I see art. And art is all around us. We just have to capture it. And I've just been able to I've just been blessed to be able to capture it. So I think that's one of the difference. I'm just a nature guy. I'm not just a photographer. See, I didn't get into photography. Photography got into me. I feel what I do. It's not merely just taking pictures. It's capturing life. It's capturing images. Making life stand still. To me, it's really an art, and it's something that I don't ever see being content. Well, I've reached my plateau now. This is it. No, it's still higher ground. Now, one of the most impressive compliments I've ever received was from somebody, I don't even know who it was, that stated that they labeled me the Gordon Park of the South. And if you know anything about Gordon Park, he was a black photographer, I think maybe for Life or somebody like that. But he was well known, and to me that was one heck of an accomplishment. And not only that, it motivated me to get better. You know, I'm not seeking the praise, but I want to be the very best that I can possibly be. But on another note, let me share this. I'm going to bring it home here because this is important. We don't want to look over this. I mean, because we have listeners. I have some members that's listening. Georgia Folks in Farm Life is 99%, probably 99.99% Caucasian. Well, I'm not Caucasian. But what they have proven to me is people more apt to judge you by your character than by the color of your skin. And I know some people disagree with that, but I'm looking at the evidence. And the evidence I've seen is these people don't care nothing about what my race is and color and all that. They tend to support me for being me. And that's one of the greatest rewards I've received from being associated with Georgia Folks in Farm Life is to serve as an example of what life is on the ground, not what the media presents and not what people, peace breakers want to talk about. But I like to promote peace. I'm about love, peace, and harmony. That's my heart, man. It's easy to be in me.
Please go to the map now.
Hey, well, we got a caller. No, we got a caller here.
Okay.
Yeah, caller, you're on the air.
Okay.
Good evening, caller. Hello, caller.
This is Faye again.
Uh-oh. Hello, Faye. You can hear us now, can't you?
Hey, I just wanted to tell Harvey I'm very much enjoying hearing his story. And Wade, you surround yourself with quality people. What can I say?
Well, thank you. We won't start naming them off, but we know we know where to start the list, don't we?
I do have one question. Then we'll cut you loose and open it up for everybody else, Faye. But Wade and I were talking the other day. Have your deer problems with the buzzards? Have the buzzards recovered from COVID enough to take away the deer yet?
Apparently so, or either it just kind of melted away into the earth. I don't know. We're down here. Today was absolutely beautiful. Brock's been cutting his sugar cane, and he's become the sugar man. If you want honey or sugar cane, but he's about sold out of both. So just enjoying being out in the country and just enjoying the show, Wade.
Well, thank you, Faye, so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Okay. I'm going to check out so other people can call. It's good to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same here.
You know, I heard this. My wife heard the show last week, and she said, "I'm ready to go down and see Faye." And I thought, with sugar cane and honey, who wouldn't be? What a neat lady.
Well, they have a beautiful place on farm out there. When they're there, that is a great place to visit.
Well, we'll have to do that. We'll have to take a road trip, Wade. As long as we can run in the log truck.
The other day, she had open house the other day, but she'll do a personal open house for us if we'll go over there sometime.
Well, I'm ready. You just say the word. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Harvey, if you had if you had the perfect thing to go photograph, well, what would it be? What's on your bucket list?
I got it yesterday.
The eagle.
I guess I got to come up with something else. But before the eagle, it was the rattlesnake. I always wanted to photograph one in the wild, and I was always concerned. Well, I used to be absolutely terrified of snakes, just to see them, and I also thought. I wondered if I see one in the wild, would I actually be able to steady my hands enough to, take a decent photos. Well, I first encountered one probably maybe a month ago. It was kind of, dust dark, and didn't get very good shots of it, but I got some decent shots. But then last week, I think it was last week, maybe this week, I was able to photograph a rattler and close up in person. As a matter of fact, I laid on the ground and got face to face level down with him, and, to get the shots and everything. But I really don't know. I don't know. I always go out in the field with the hope, with the belief that there's going to be something extraordinary right here today. You know what I mean? I'm not coming back empty-handed. It's going to be something very unique. And so far, I've been successful. So I don't really know what I would like to photograph right now. It just seems like the Lord I'm a spoiled kid, man. And what I wanted to photograph, the Lord has allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say? You know?
Right, beyond your wildest
Harvey,
dreams.
Matt, I think about Harvey is the first time he came up to visit me, we went out riding around and we went over to a dirt road on the other side of Garfield where a friend of mine lived, and we were riding down that dirt road, and that's near where I used to live, and so very familiar with the area. And I basically said, you won't see anything out here worth photographing. Well, look, there's a bald eagle. I had never seen a bald eagle, but I had Harvey Williams with me.
Right.
And I said, Harvey, over this cotton field over here, there's a bald eagle. Look, yeah. And Harvey's jaded. He's seen a million of them. He said, yeah, it's a bald eagle, all right. I'm always saying like a kid. But I really don't believe that bald eagle would have been there if I hadn't had Harvey with me.
Yeah, probably not.
God sends these creatures. They love Harvey. They come down and pose for Harvey. I'm serious.
Yes, that's right.
And they dance and do little jigs and things for Harvey. They don't do for the rest of us. They run when they see me and they say, "Oh, there's Harvey. Let's go, get our picture taken." It's the thing amongst the critters.
Right. I'm fine going out in the field with you, Harvey, as long as you leave the rattlesnakes at home.
Well, that's what most people say, Yeah.
Well, Harvey, you're past your rattlesnake phase now, right? Am I right?
Yeah, we're done with that, Harvey.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. But I'm like 25 or 30 feet from this eagle, and I take pictures. I get about 75 shots, and then I just hung my camera and I just stood there in awe and just looked at this creature of nature and just admired it. I mean, I can't really express what I felt. And it just sat there perched. It looks at me and it looks off, and I'm thinking, God, this has to be you. No doubt in my mind. It has to be.
I have a question for you too, Harvey.
Sure.
While we're on the subject of God, and while we're on the subject of nature and grand things in nature, I think we can all agree that the future of our country and the future of our way of life depends on the success of our children. And you said something to me at one point, and I think it was even recorded on History Worth Saving, our other show. And it just really, I sat there and I heard that. You talked about a contract that you made with your church, specifically with the youth.
Yes.
Can you share that? Because it was so powerful hearing that the last time, and I know that, I don't know if you've shared that on Georgia Folk and Farm Life or not, but I'd love for you to share it tonight on Georgia Folk and Farm Life Radio, because it really is beautiful.
No, I never shared Georgia Folk and Farm Life. Approximately 5 years ago, I made a vow, and I made it before the church, and that vow was, we are not going to lose not so much as one youth to the streets, the drugs, the prison, or violence. And so far, that vow has helped.
Amen.
And I was able to make the vow because I believe that when you teach the word of God, when you preach his word and not your philosophy, but his word, it does not return. This way you say it does not return void. And it's not Harvey Williams that's going to save these children. Harvey can't do it, but the word of God. There's power in the word of God, and people don't sit there and understand that. They think it's in their doing, their style, the eloquent speech and the giving and this type of thing. But no, it's deliverance and life is in the word of God. And I know this country don't want to hear about God. I mean, they seem to be doing everything they can to stamp him out. But I'm keeping the name alive.
And just to be clear, your church is not the church at Shady Acres Retirement Home. You have kids in the church, so this is not something that you stood up and just made sort of flippantly. I mean, this is doing great work, and you haven't lost one.
No. You're talking teenagers and, went from infants to teenagers to just, people in their early 20s and that type of thing. Those troubled years. But because they come to the house of God, and that's why I always encourage people, just come. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to do anything. We're not going to point you out. We're not going to ask you to get up. We're not going to ask you to say anything. I just want you to come and hear the word of God. That's all.
Talk about your church. Tell us about your church, the name of the church, where it is, and a little about it. How long you've been the pastor?
I started pastoring in 1995. It's in Willacoochee, called the House of Deliverance Church. I think on a good Sunday, we probably have 40 to 50 people. You might want to say a mixed congregation. The denomination is Pentecostal, and I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm not really into denominations, to be honest with you. I kind of inherited that. I'm not so much into teaching the doctrine of man. We just a church. I just want to be known as a church, the house of God. That's where I want to be known at. A wonderful group of people. I mean, I'm pretty rough on them, don't sugarcoat things, and they take a licking and keep on ticking. They love me.
I love that.
Well, Wade and I were talking earlier a couple of days ago, and we said, well, when we get our big show stood up, and we've talked about this big show. We don't know what we're going to call it yet, do we, Wade? The Georgia Front Porch.
It's a stage show. Yeah, it's going to be a road show, stage show.
That's right, big stage and road show, and we got to have you there, Harvey. You got to be. Oh, yeah. You've got to be on the stage, and you've got to be there as one of the hosts. So
sure,
we've already enlisted your help. So you probably didn't know that.
No,
but
I did.
We didn't ask you first because you might turn us down, so we go ahead and get it.
Well, there's a lot of folks listening tonight, and we're glad you're here, and we hope y'all are all enjoying Georgia radio. Wade, take a call or two if we have them. I'm not kidding you. There's a bunch of people tuned in tonight. If you want to call in, we'll leave the phone lines open for another few minutes, and if not, well, we're going to go get on with our evening tonight, aren't we, Wade? And just have a good time. I wish y'all could see Wade. I don't know what he's doing tonight. He's going to turn his camera off with these headphones. I'm going to have to get a picture of this. We're going to either that or get you some new headphones. That's what we're going to do.
Well, I've got
having to take a selfie.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs to do.
That's not going to happen.
He's liable to hang up if he does that, So we'll have fun. But Harvey, what do you want to add into this before we wrap things up tonight?
Nature. We got to get back to nature. We got to get back to nature, or this world won't last. I'm out there for probably 3 reasons, maybe 4. I go in the field. 1 is to clear my mind. There's no politics or anything. There was COVID, nothing. I'm out there, and I'm free to be able to meditate, talk to, and listen to God. Then I'm also I'm getting exercise. I'm walking back and forth. I mean, the Eagles can tell you they got me walking one side, on to the other, and that type of thing. I feel more. If you notice the pictures, I didn't mention the pictures. Well, that probably last. But I feel more in the presence of God, and I hope this is not offensive to anyone, but it's the absolute truth. I feel closer to God in nature than I do in the sanctuary.
That's there's part of what you're an honest man, and I love that. Harvey, you will share the real feelings you have about things, whether it's popular or not. We have a caller, Matt.
We do. I just wanted to run down the list too. We have folks listening tonight from around here in Warner Robins, Richmond Hill, Tifton, Atlanta, Sylvania, Reedsville, way up there in Forsyth, Wetumpka, Moultrie. You know where McClaney is? We've got folks up in Atlanta.
Is that Florida?
We got no, I don't know, McClinney maybe. We got folks in Macon and Rincon, McDonough. I mean, it just goes on, and folks are tuned in from all around the state tonight, and we're glad you're here. Let's see who this caller is. Caller, you're on the air. Good evening.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, we're talking to you. Who is this tonight?
Hey, I'm nervous calling in, but hey, my name is Cindy Nixon.
Hey, Cindy.
I know Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hey, I just had to call, and I'm getting teary-eyed. I just had to call, though, and tell y'all how much I enjoyed listening to y'all tonight, and what a blessing that Georgia Folk and Farm has been to me. I mean, it really, really has. And Harvey, I enjoy very much looking at your pictures, and I understand completely what you say, that everything you do is for God's glory, and it blesses all of us. And Wade, I enjoy so much. You're welcome. And Wade, I enjoy so much all that you bring to Georgia Folk and Farm with your stories and your humor, and you make us all laugh, and you make us laugh sometimes when we really need to laugh. But I just had to call in and tell y'all what a blessing
you're one
y'all
of those great classic
me.
members of club. Yeah.
Well, thank you. But I know that
it's
been a blessing to me, and I can just imagine how many other people out there, that may not have family with them, or they're at home, and they look at the website every day, and it just feels like a big, big family and a bunch of friends. And I just had to call and say that.
Thank you.
Thank you so
and
much.
It is. I hope more people call in too. But you're welcome, and y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Cindy. We're glad you called in tonight.
Right. Now I got all teared up. Pardon me?
We're glad you called in tonight.
Right.
Thank you again. All right. So long. Cindy, everybody calling in tonight. We got time for one more call or two. If you want to call in tonight and talk, we can do that. 678-390-8633. I'm looking forward to the Antique Ag Festival. Are you going to come up here for that, Wade? You need to. It's down in Perry.
In Perry at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
I would like to. When is it? You gave
Well,
me,
it starts out. Hang on, I got to get my cheaters on.
It's soon, isn't it?
It's coming up this week. Yeah. Yeah. So Thursday is the kickoff at 12 p.m. Right there at the fairgrounds in Perry. And I'm going to have. We ought to have him on the show at some point. But Hamilton Halford is the guy that's running that, and he's going to come on tomorrow with me and talk. So Harvey, they don't have any Eagles out there that I'm aware of, but we could all meet up there at some point. Maybe next year we ought to talk to him and see if we could have a reunion or something there, a gathering or whatever we're going to call this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wade could wear his overalls.
This week is tied up, man. I don't get a break this week, and next week I'm hoping to get a 4 or 5 day sabbatical. Hopefully, I really need one. So
you come back to visit here with me, Harvey, when you get a chance.
Yeah. Okay. But
I love it when Wade says,
"I've got a rattlesnake over here with your name on it."
He's ready to pose.
Log, you remember the old log cabin up the road here, the one room log having the well, he's still there. I saw him the other day, and I spared him. I said, "Yeah, Harvey will get your picture. He laid there, knows with you."
That's right. The Olin Mills of rattlesnakes is Harvey Williams. That's
that's right. I'm the man.
He just gets them to pose. We got another caller here. I'm trying to connect him up to the here they are to the board here. Caller, you're on the air. Good evening.
Hey, this is Nick. How y'all doing?
Hey, Nick.
Good. How are you?
I was listening to Harvey talk about being out in nature and getting back to nature. And to me, that's it. Like I go hunting early in the mornings, and I just sit out there and don't even have to kill anything. Just be sitting out there and listening to the world wake up, and thank God for the birds singing and the
Amen.
The watching the sun come up. It's just a blessing, and I sit out there, and that's where I spend a lot of my time. Communion with God is sitting in the deer stand or sitting in the turkey woods and just thanking Him and listening to Him, and listening to the world wake up and the birds singing to it, thanking God for waking them up. It's amazing to me. I love nature and I love being in it.
Well, you've been a farm boy. You've always had farm animals. You've done the outdoor things, Nick. That's been your life, hasn't it? Your family and your and hunting, farm life, that kind of thing.
Yep, that's me. Sometimes I miss the farm, and then I think about the work that we had to do, and that missing the farm kind of goes away.
So you got tired of farm life and got an easy job on the railroad, right? Yeah.
Hey, well, I thought it was easy, but that's pretty much. I'd live on the farm now if I could, but those days are gone by. But it's still good memories about the farm and all that.
But your dad was he farmed, didn't
he? Yeah, he was back a farmer.
What, he lived in Virginia or where was it?
North Carolina. We farmed. Well, we were sharecroppers.
That's right, Nick.
Yeah, we were sharecroppers.
Nick, I'm going to interrupt you. Matt, Nick was the first person years ago that told me about a tradition of blowing anvils on Christmas, and I'd never heard of that. Now, have y'all, you remember telling me about that? That your daddy used to do that, and the people in your area, North Carolina?
Big pastime.
Yeah, well, around here, people didn't do it, or if they did, I was unaware of it.
Well, there's a reason for that.
That's why?
Well, it's pretty dangerous, The folks down here.
I never stopped our people around here from doing anything. Folks, that's a great enticement, Matt. It's dangerous. Where they're doing it? We're running. It's like, hey, Harvey me and Harvey have laughed about, the white people running up and grabbing snakes and things. If a UFO bandit is going to run up there, oh look,
right,
and
right.
Yes, that's kind of our local tradition in the Harvey,
Yeah. Well, I can't see a lot of old Georgians, tolerating that. A serious people, a people that, they see something frivolous like that and they might not want to participate.
Well, Nick, you still there with us?
But Nick's going to shed the light on blowing an anvil.
Okay, well, tell us about those that aren't familiar with that. We got off on chasing rabbits, as I'm prone to do, as you know, and I'll chase rabbits. And we'll get run over one day doing that, but go ahead, tell us about blowing the anvils, blasting anvils with powder.
I wish I could. I can't remember them. It has slipped my mind, I guess, with age.
That is the story of my life. People always talk about what all I remember. If I could remember all I forgot, I could start another group on top of this one.
Well, Nick, you're a kind man, because I don't want Georgia Radio or Georgia Folk and Farm Life to be responsible for blasting anvils in Georgia. You know what I mean? The idea is pretty simple. You put a charge underneath it, and the darn thing goes up 100 and something feet. It's good fun on the farm.
I'm not doing that with my anvils.
Was it Christmas morning or New Year's when they did that, Matt? It was Christmas, wasn't it?
I think it was any time, anytime the elixir came out, right?
Yeah.
The electric creek water was running, There you go.
That's right.
Well, I'm learning something. I'm learning something of
that.
Yeah. Harvey, that just wasn't something y'all did in y'all's community.
No, not hardly.
Thanks for calling in tonight, Nick. We appreciate the call.
Nick.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
All right, have a great night.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Harvey, that's another example of those things of cultural differences we talk
Absolutely.
about. Yeah, cultural differences. No, I say, Harvey, did y'all blast anvils? No. When we did not do that. We didn't catch snakes, and we didn't blow anvils.
No.
I'm looking forward to the first annual Harvey Williams anvil blasting down there at Willacoochee.
Oh no.
That'll be fun.
No.
Harvey, for what what I understand, that like Matt says, it's a tradition in some areas to take and you put a charge of black powder under an anvil outside, and for early on a Christmas morning or whatever, and then you'd light it, and the anvil would fly up in the air and then land, and that's yeah.
All right.
Oh, you said you mean a iron anvil?
Anvil like black,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh no, man!
Anvil flying.
Oh no! I mean, what's the irony behind that? Oh
I don't know how
man!
that got started, but it's an old tradition, Harvey. Yes.
That's trying to get killed.
Yeah. Well, you know.
That's the point.
Man.
That's what we do. Our culture, that's a lot of what we do.
But let me say, I broke with tradition when it came down to that snake. I really did. When it come down to cultural differences, I mean, I really did. You just don't see that in my culture.
No.
Getting that close to snakes and bothering, and I'm not being impressive, but it's just they are part of nature. I mean,
Right.
and the question I get most is, did you kill him? No. I'm on his turf. He's not bothering me.
He ain't bruise your heel, did he?
Absolutely. Leave him alone.
Harvey,
Leave him alone.
it's time for us to wind it down. Matt, has he got time for a closing thought? Or you,
Yeah,
I'm turning over to
absolutely.
You, Matt, now
No.
you watching the clock here.
Go right ahead, Harvey.
Well, my closing thought is I would be back and we would talk more in depth. People probably want to know about my addiction and recovery, and I'll gladly share that.
Oh, we'll do it.
So I'll be back. I'll be glad to come back for that and, talk about my books and that type of thing. And I'm not into, I have to get paid for books, but I'm not trying to sell books. It's just that I want to know.
Give away a lot
I
of
want people to know why. Yeah, I do.
They don't print themselves,
people to know. No, they don't. No, they don't.
They don't.
But I want people to know why I wrote the books.
That's right. Well, Harvey, we're going to have this road show that we've talked about. We're going to do it. Okay, I don't know when the first one will be, and we're going to have music and a stage show, and you're going to be there. You're going to be a part of it, and your books hopefully will be available to anybody at that time that wants to attend one of these shows. Your books will be available.
That's right.
It's true. I keep books.
I asked Wade the other night. I said, "When are we doing this first one?" I said, "Let's go ahead and do it. The big family gathering on Georgia radio." And we're just waiting. We're waiting on the numbers. We got a lot of folks that are in danger of getting, getting sick and all that kind of stuff. Wade, I agree with Wade. We just want to wait and make sure we got a safe way to do it outside. And it's going to be a live radio broadcast. We're going to do the whole thing live, like an old-fashioned radio show, and it'll be a lot of fun. Brother Wade.
It'll be a stage show and people could come and pay admission and be there, and we're going to have a great time. It's going to be a great event.
We got to charge something to pay for the venue,
That's right.
And we want to have the food and everything else there, and just make it a good time. But it'll be a great time to come out and have kind of an old-fashioned family gathering, and we'll have a radio show so all the folks at home who can't make it can hear it. But it'll be fun. We're going to do that here hopefully in another few months. Have our first one. All right. Well, Wade,
looking forward to it.
I'll let you send it off. We didn't hear from Conway tonight. He never called in.
Well, bless his old black heart is my great aunt. God bless his old black heart. That's Conway. He'll let you. He's been known to let us down before.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I really everybody that joined us tonight. It's a blessing to have you. We're going to try to grow this. It's an opportunity to grow Georgia folk and farm life in an additional direction. Like I was talking about Harvey's photography a while ago, adding to it, not walking away. We're not walking away from Facebook and the group. We're adding to it. This is a new dimension, and we appreciate you being a part of it, and we want more and more people to be a part of it. And we've got other exciting things on the horizon. But listen to Georgia radio 24/7. If you love classic music, country music, Matt's got it out there for you. There's other programming, and there's other things that we're working on. This is really going to make Georgia radio a special place, a home for you.
Well, thanks again, Wade. There's your music. I guess we'll see you next week. We're going to do it next week?
Of course.
Of course.
Every week.
Harvey, thanks for... I hadn't lost my mind. Thanks for coming on, Harvey.
It's a pleasure. Been a pleasure.
All right. Good night, guys. Talk to y'all soon.
Good night. All right.
Thanks, Harvey. Love you, my friend.
Sure. Love you too, brother.
Folks, you've been listening to the Georgia Folk and Farm Life radio show right here on Georgia Radio. We're glad you're here. Tune in next week, 7:30, for an all-new episode right here on Georgia Radio. Thanks again so much for listening. Good night, everybody.
All the best country.
Georgia Radio. Everywhere you go.